Okay, guys, today we're going to learn how to solve some two-step equations. One thing I want to point out to you is that I'm skipping lesson 2.3 because it is solving one-step equations, which you have been doing since the beginning of sixth grade. So I'm skipping that one. So if you need to review solving one-step equations, you need to go back to that section. But essentially what we're doing here is sometimes there's not just one thing that you have to do in an equation to solve it. You have to do two things. In this case, roses cost $5 each and the shipping costs $10. Your total cost would then depend on how many roses you buy. So we need to make an expression that represents what's happening in this problem. So here's where I usually like to define a variable. And let's let x equal the number of roses. And then we could say they're $5 each. So 5x would be the cost for x roses. And then we already know that $10 is the shipping fee. So we could now represent this expression as 5x is the cost of the roses plus the shipping fee should equal the total cost. Now we can actually take this 5x plus 10 and we could evaluate this if I know I'm going to order 12 roses. That means I'm going to put a 12 in the place of the x. 5 times 12 is 60 plus 10 would be $70 for the roses plus the shipping. So it's $60 for the roses, but then $10 for the shipping. I'm going to pay $70 total. So let's try this one. A man is 2 years younger than 3 times his son's age. Okay, so let's let x equal the son's age. Okay, and then a man is 2 years younger than 3 times his son's age. So we could say, let's see, we have to do 3 times his son's age, but then 2 years younger than that. That this will actually equal the father's age. And we want to know how old is the father if the son is 13. So we're going to do 3 times 13 minus 2 would be 39 minus 2, which is 37. So notice we had to do 2 steps here. We had to multiply and then we had to subtract. Okay, let's try this one. Suppose your grandmother sends you 5 games for your birthday. Each game has the same weight. The box she mailed them in weighs 8 ounces and the total weight is 48 ounces. Okay, so what we don't know is the weight of one game. But we know that 5 times that weight plus the weight of the box, which is 8 ounces, is going to equal the total of all of it put together, which is 48. Okay, now we've got an equation and not just an expression. And one thing that I want to explain to you is when we're solving equations in order of operations, we do parentheses first, then exponents, then multiply and divide, then add and subtract. But when we're like unsolving a problem, we're undoing it. Rather than going in the order of operations, we kind of have to do the reverse of the order of operations. So it's kind of like unwrapping the present to get to what's inside. The very last thing you did is the first thing you have to undo. So in this problem, that means we're actually going to start with this addition and subtraction, and that's the part we're going to undo first. So remember, we want to get the variable by itself. So I like to draw my little line here. Okay, and at the end, I want the variable here and everything else on that side. So I want to look at what's being added or subtracted to the x. And it's not the 5 because the 5 is being multiplied. It's actually the 8. So how do I undo the addition of 8? I subtract 8 on both sides. And I've got 5x left on this side because these cancel. And 48 minus 8 is 40. And then I divide by 5 on both sides. And I find these cancel, and I'm just left with x. And over here, I get 8. So 8 ounces for each game is the answer I'm looking for here. Okay, you buy a jumbo lemonade for $1.50 and divide the cost of an order of chicken wings with 2 friends. Okay, we don't know how much the chicken wings cost. So let's let x equal the cost of chicken wings. Okay? So you're gonna pay $1.50, and then you're gonna pay. You're gonna take the cost of the wings and you're gonna divide it by 3. So I'm gonna make that a fraction. But I know that the total bill for you is gonna be $5.50. Okay, remember, in order of operations, we would normally start at the top and go down, but because we're undoing the problem, we actually want to start at the bottom and go up, which means we want to take care of whatever's being added or subtracted first. Okay, so I want to draw my line. And remember, the whole goal is to get x by itself down here. So I'm not going to take care of the 3 because this is division. I want to take care of adding and subtracting as my first step. So I'm going to subtract $1.50 from both sides. And this equals $4. That means that my share of the wings is $4 among 3 people. So I can undo this one by doing the opposite of dividing by 3. So I'm going to multiply by 3 on both sides. These cancel out, leaving me with x, and I know 4 times 3 is $12. So the wings cost $12 for all of us. Okay, we'll try this one. During the first half of a game, you score 8 points. In the second half, you made only 3-point basket. Okay, in the first half of the game, you scored 8 points. In the second half, you made only 3-point baskets. You finished the game with 23 points. Write and solve an equation to find how many 3-point baskets you made. Okay, so I need to know equals the number of 3-point baskets that you made in the second half, I guess. Okay, so I know that if I take 3 and I multiply it by x, I'll find out my points from 3-point baskets. And if the first half I scored only 8, and in the second half I scored only 3-pointers, so 3 times x, and in total I got 23 points, then I've got my equation. And now I'm going to solve my equation. The first thing I want to do is draw a line down the middle. I want to get the x by itself. So I'm going to look at the 3 is attached by multiplication. The 8 is over here on the same side of the x by addition. That's the one I want to take care of first. So I've got 3x equals, I believe that's 15. Now I'm going to divide by 3. Remember, whatever you do to one side, you do to the other side. And so I've got x equals 5. So I made 5 3-point baskets.